All right, I think we're online. Bonjour. Ceci va être en anglais. Je vais revenir après l'heure du souper en français pour une bonne partie de la soirée. Alors, on va faire un petit peu d'entertainment, là. Mais là, je vais aller en anglais, OK? Parce que pour finir ça, puis on reviendra encore après souper. Alors, Pierrette, prépare-toi. Okay, so anyways, we're back here. We're in English. I just want to make sure that I'm really online. I've got one here that's not connecting. Okay, because we've got some news for you. Okay, let's see here. I just need to make sure that I'm on Facebook because that one's giving me a hard time ever since Facebook closed our main page. And yes, and there I am. Okay, so the reason I wanted to speak with you today was because I know we haven't been around all that much, but we've been working, and we're always working because we look at everything, okay, that you can imagine. So I'm just going to make sure here. Oh, there's the chat. Yeah, now I can see the chat. Hello, everybody. So, anyways, now you can see that we're also on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. And on YouTube, we have a new setup with the people can give donations or whatever. So I'm not sure how that works for for people's posts to come up and their messages to come up to help us with that to get funding so that we can advance and save this country and our future. So, anyways, I'm not all that technical, but today it's on. So, if anybody wants to donate through that, please go ahead. I won't be able to read your chats right now because I'm trying to test Restream to see if I'll be able to see them on Restream. So if anybody wants to give it a try, please, thank you. No need to give very much, just so that we can see that it works on Restream. And if not, then we're gonna have to find another solution. But anyways, to get back to our news, as you know, Daniel Freiheit is with Pace Law, and also with Russo, um, is our legal representative, but he's the C.P.U. representative. Now, I'm going to have to re explain that because we've had 4 days of extreme difficulties with some people who were trying to reach him, also contact Pace Law and Russo and leaving messages and whatnot, and emails. That is a no-no, okay? Because Daniel represents the C.P.U. Corporation, okay, the Canadian People's Union, and that's me, Dennis, and Barb. So he does not represent the people per se, okay? Like he's not the C.P.U. members' lawyers because C.P.U. members are website members, not corporate members, and we can't sell shares for the C.P.U. anyways because it's not for profit. So they're not actually, the C.P.U. members are not actually board or corporate members. So we're going to have that detailed on our website shortly so that people do not get confused, because what happens is we when people do such things, we may end up losing our legal representation. Some people already have because of people like this. And I know that maybe the people's hearts are in the right place and they're freaking out and they're in a panic and they're trying to reach out. But when it comes to Daniel Freiheit, he represents the CPU only, the three board members, and it's for us to be able to go to court or to get things done legally. He handles our trust fund, not cases per se right now, other than what we're doing for the UK. And in the UK, we finally have a lawyer, and it took him all about maybe 45 minutes for everything to get decided upon in between emails, which was really nice because he was gone away, and all I got was a reply saying that he'd be back next week. And first thing I knew, his assistant contacted us, and he's definitely interested. And this is my dream UK lawyer. Okay. So when Daniel and I were talking about all the other firms and how expensive they were and what they might do, we had to really look to see if the lawyers were actually going to stand by the people in the UK and by Canadians here, first of all, and what were they going to bring about for us. So we have to be very careful who we associate with. So, anyways, what happened was this my dream lawyer. When I showed him to Daniel, I said, I said this guy is something else. Really, I think that we can all benefit from him and his firm. So, and the firm also has international lawyers, which will help us at which we can get for the International Criminal Court and the International Court of Justice. So everything's kind of, I mean, Daniel is in the best position that we could have dreamed of, and so is now this lawyer. We will not give out the names. We will no longer give out the names of our legal representations because it matters to us too much, and people could put us in jeopardy, and even these lawyers can lose their jobs because of harassment by people or I mean, the last one was even trying to tell our lawyer what to do. Hello, you do not do that, and that was not understood, so we had to remove that person from their membership. And if anybody does that, we reserve the right to remove their membership or to not approve their membership to us. So this is all to be able to make sure that we stay safe, that we stay legal, that we stay on top of everything, because this is the chance of a lifetime that we are given. And it's the moment to take it because we need to stop the reset. Now, our mandate is not about the mandates, okay? All of this medical stuff, scientific stuff, that's not what we are about. We are about placing the people in power in our government so that, yes, we can stop our government from doing all of these things to us. Because only asking to stop, the the COVID mandates is not going to save our country. We need to stop the reset. The mandates, the vaccine mandates, all of these things were created in advance for this moment and to enslave all of humanity. And this is our chance to stop them in their tracks. It started with Canada. Those who saw the video before, you'll see who launched the Club of Rome, which was Trudeau Sr. Okay? And this is why I've been saying for the last, since 2008, Canada is the country that launched all of this. They used Canada, they used us because we didn't care. We weren't very invested in what our government was doing. We were just, hey, we're lucky, right? We live in Canada. We're free. Well, as one gentleman on Six Nations territory told me the first time I came here, he said, Nicole, we might be on a reserve here right now, but you guys live on a bigger reserve called Canada. And he was right. So people have been oblivious to what the real meaning of freedom is. The real meaning of freedom is when you're looking at society, who makes the final decisions for that society? The people or the politicians who do according to their political, how can I say, their political parties. Okay, so the politicians represent their political parties. Their parties were supposed to have a set of things that they were going to offer us, but yet at the same time they weren't supposed to stop talking to us and then or lying to us and then doing something else. And what we found out through our research and everything, that legally, whatever a politician tells you, during the elections, he can promise you the moon, he or she, and then turn around and do the exact opposite. And guess what? You can't bring them to court on it because at that time they were wearing a hat. And then once they won their elections and brought into government, now they wear another hat. So tough luck. And this is how they see it. So with what we've learned and what the C.P.U is about, we're not, again, I'm going to repeat this. We are not like any other organization in Canada or anywhere on the planet. Some come close, but the way that we've set things up is to be able to really protect our political and civil rights and for our country and our children and everybody else to come. So again, So I see that if you have Gmail, okay. Right now, there's this Amika John, that would need to be removed from our chat, who is spamming. So right now, I can't kind of remove these people, but anyway, eventually they will be removed. And anybody who is a troll or is a controlled opposition, or trying to sway, or not even discuss what we're discussing here, all of those comments will be removed because it we get penalized whenever we're on YouTube or on Facebook. So in order to be able to bring you the information we have to stay vigilant, and we have to make sure that there's no arguments going on in the chat or fighting or whatever. It has to you have to remain um, keeping the discussion to what I'm saying here, to what we're discussing as topics. So right now, the good news, like I said, we have the my dream lawyer in the UK, and I have my dream lawyer here in Canada. So I think, even though the lawyers are not privy to all the information we have, they will soon be made aware of that. And really learn what we have, and they agree that yes, I'm right. But at the same time, they have to get used to. So I want to speak to you about some of the questions that Daniel asked me. And he says, Nicole, he says, if you got, okay, UN, they do a vote in Parliament in the UK, and they change, they add the people above, with executive power above the government and the crown, the queen, whatever. Um, what happens tomorrow, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning? What happens? I said, well, first of all, what would happen is normally the judges, when you got something huge like this, it takes time to transition. Okay, so you have to allow for the transition. So with us, the way that I've seen it happen in the past in regards to, maybe a vote of no confidence, then what happens is the second in place for that's got the most seats in the House would replace the existing government. So Trudeau would be replaced by Singh, who is obviously in bed with Trudeau anyway, which we know. And none of them, even the Conservatives, everything they've done over the years could prove that they were in bed with the Liberals. I mean, these are all the same people, all the same things. They all have to bring about the same political agenda. They only continue off of one another, So while they're bashing each other, you might think, oh, look at this person. He's really speaking for us. He's protecting us, or she's protecting us. And it's BS. I could prove to you, I could show you clips after clips of Carolyn Bennett and how she ended up stabbing. She sounded like she was really going to protect the Indigenous nations. And then she ended up stabbing them in the back over and over again, ever since they won the election. So how do we protect our people against these people? Well, first of all, they've all been chosen for their positions, and we know that through the World Economic Forum. I mean, how can a journalist who was with the Economic Forum become the Finance Minister of Canada? It's totally ludicrous. Can she actually add 2 plus 2 divided by 4? Seriously? You know? She probably can, but that's just an example I'm trying to give you. But we need to be able to have a governance that knows what they're doing. Okay, not just somebody who's going to say, oh, well, I'm going to go and run. I don't like how they're doing this, and I'm going to go and run for elections without knowing what's involved in Canada. Just to give you an idea. I collected this morning, it took me 2 hours. I was on the OECD website, and that is a website for it's like a tracking website, data collection, and all that, to know about every chemical in Canada, and this is what their database holds. Every item that comes into Canada, whether it's thread, wool, cyanide, milk, beef, pork, flowers, any kinds of seeds, all of that has to be accounted for. Everything has to be, they have to make sure that it's not dangerous or whatever. And the data is just unbelievable. And this is what they have been collecting for a long time. And this is where they're going. Now they want our DNA data. Okay, now they're into our physical DNA data. And this is where the mRNA comes into. And on all of these nightmarish things that they're doing to us illegally, even though we have laws against that. So now how do we come about making sure that we're protected? Are we going to focus on the mandates, Canadian mandates, or are we going to walk through an open door that we have to freedom? You have to, while we're all focused in one direction, there's another door over here we need to take. And it's wide open if we choose. And it's based on our rights, our legal rights, and nothing else. So we are not about chasing dreams. We want you to dare to dream, but at least dream with something that can be fruitful, something that can actually exist, something that can actually be done and created and whatever. So when you're looking at our the chances that we have here, that's why our focus was on the UK and our constitution. Now we have three lawyers in Quebec trying to say, oh, the constitution is unconstitutional. Well, we know it's unconstitutional because our true constitution is still sitting in the UK. So hey, let's go after the real McCoy here, which is the one that was approved in the UK Parliament. That's the one that's been awaiting repeal because the Canadian government since 1982 did not fulfill its obligations inside the Constitution to be acceptable. Because in the end, the people still have to accept that Constitution. Okay, so they can try and do whatever they want here in Canada. We don't even bother with the Supreme Court of Canada. Why? Because our experience shows, and a lot of the rulings that happened, well, we had 5 good judges in the Supreme Court that we could trust pretty much. And then something happened in one of the court cases afterwards. This was in 2020, and this is in regards to our Genetic Non-Discrimination Act. So 5 judges saved us from, still being able to keep some control over our genetics. After that, one of the judges retired, then another one, and another one left. So now they've replaced 2 judges. We don't know these judges. We don't know what they're going to do. We don't even know much of their background, and are they fair? Are they not fair? So when you look at the experience of the courts that we've seen in Canada and what's transpired since 1980 in Canada, leading up to now, things had changed for the good, but things still were not being told to us or being used here to protect us. So our best bet, because of what I've read in the UK, actually Rhonda and I, when we were looking at the Hansards and then the court cases, and then I started looking at more things in the UK in regards to being able to see what Lord Denning said, what these other judges, Judge Kerr said, what happened, for the first time in history, Boris Johnson was able to be questioned in court, and that's in regards to what the minister or any ministers, before when royal assent is given. Well, what type of advice are you giving? Is the advice good or not good? So any laws that they pass and that requires royal assent, it's not about bringing, the governor general or the queen or anybody else to court on that. What can be brought to court is the reason for the royal assent, like the okay, well, this is the law. Now we want you to give royal assent. Well, what was the advice? The advice is the law itself. Does the law make sense? Does it not make sense? In the UK, they make sure that the laws are appropriate before they add the laws. And that's why they don't need a written constitution in the UK, because all of their laws are supposed to be constitutional. Okay? And the people are supposed to be protected within that already. So in Canada, when you look at a charter, now a charter is different. It's supposed to be the law of the land. They're supposed to follow it. But in our charter, they have 2 escape clauses in there. One is the section 1. So you have criteria to meet, and which they did here. Okay, that's not done in the UK like that. And then we have the notwithstanding clause, which is totally unconstitutional. Okay, so why bother going to Canada with anything based on bullshit? Excuse my language, but it's BS. Some of the judges we can see were bought and paid for. Some are bought and paid for to this day. Okay, one in particular. So I've said my piece with him, and the others, and then we're seeing others too across in the provinces. Some of the judges are honest, but hey, right now they're being threatened with their jobs, their status, and everything else, or they're being given bonuses. So everybody's bought and paid for in Canada. So where do we go? Well, we need to go outside of Canada. Where's our constitution? It's outside of Canada. Thank goodness they screwed up. The thing that they didn't realize is that we'd notice. Okay. So, like I said, we have to bring the lawyers around and everything else. So things are going to take a little bit of time. Our UK lawyer is busy till June. But in the meantime, we were asked that, okay, Daniel said, Nicole, you need $200,000 to $300,000 people signed up to the C.P.U. Whether it's the PowerShift or the C.P.U., that remains to be seen. But we need to be able to make a big effort here because it's the only one we're going to get. So it doesn't matter whether I'm right, okay? That's not going to change. What needs to change is the people supporting this. And that's what we need your help with. It's not just about signing the convention. If you have banners, like with the convoy was perfect for us to be able to draft that letter and to bring it to the UK to show that millions of Canadians want change in this country. But how many millions of Canadians know that they could be the final decision makers, that we can decide what happens with the banking system here, we can decide what happens to our oil, we can decide what happens to all of our natural resources and the employees within Canada. The corporations would have to be at our beck and call. And if they don't like it, well, hey, nothing will stop us from paying them out. And so, okay, now the employees will take over because if that's listed in the Corporations Canada Act. And if you really read the Corporations Canada Act, the government of Canada can decide to take over any company it wants if they're doing wrong. And that would include mistreating their employees. So what does our Canadian government want us to do right now? They want the employers, the corporations, to mistreat the employees. They want to be hated. Why? Because now the corporations created another government, a world government they want you to join. Okay? Join our world government. So this is why Freeland and Trudeau and everybody that works for the World Economic Forum, who has been connected to the World Economic Forum, all of the prime ministers before that, the premiers right now and before that, and the mayors right now are involved in this, including most of our universities and colleges. Most of the scholars are involved in this. Now they're using the teachers against our children, against us. Aren't you tired of that? Don't you think that maybe just asking for the mandates is not going to cut it? Don't want to wear a mask anymore? Well, let's rah, rah, rah against the masks. Let's rah, rah, rah against the mandates. Let's rah, rah, rah against the injections. How about your true freedom? But you need to say what type of freedom you want. Because there's different levels of freedom according to different people and what they believe or what they know. Most people believe that if they elect their government and their government runs them by the nose, like seen in Canada, oh, we're a free country. We live in a democracy. Why? Because they throw these words around. They throw many words around. The double speak is sickening. And then when you look at our laws, they can pick and choose whichever law. One outdoes the others because there are so many of them. Do we need all those laws? No, we don't need all those laws. What we need, though, right now, we're trying to keep that door wide open for you. It's up to you to choose to enter. And that door begins with the PowerShift.ca. The entry through that door right now for Canadians is through the PowerShift.ca. Now Rhonda is sending out letters to all the other groups. A lot of people say, oh, join this group. It's not up to join the other groups. And then the other groups might not feel good because they've put in a lot of work. And then they've got their members, and they might be afraid that we're trying to take their members away. No, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do about saving our country. We don't need their members. We need all Canadians to support this. Sign your convention. Stand up with us. When you go to protests, if you've got freedom on your sign, put PowerShift to freedom. Let them know you want to be a final decision maker in your country and a co-owner, shareholder of this country because you are ready for it. Because that's the excuse they use with the UK. We were not ready. They've been using that against everyone since 1931. Canadians are not ready. Why? Because they didn't make us ready. Well, it's time to lift up your socks, put your boots on. Don't wait for Creator or God or anybody else or Allah or whatever to come and save you, because none of these entities, God, whatever you believe in, we're staying neutral. Okay, so whatever you believe in, we don't care what you believe in, because as far as we're concerned, everybody's equal. Everybody has something to bring to the table, no matter what culture they're from, what color they are, or what sex they are. Okay, it don't matter. What matters is that we're human beings first and foremost, and we need to learn to live together, and we need to learn to live in peace, in harmony, and appreciation of each other and what we bring to the table. Not everybody's as intelligent as the next person. Okay? Some people might be more intelligent in one thing or the other. So what? Let's get together and all share those experiences, and then we can learn from one another. And that's what they're stopping us from doing. That's why it was so important for the people at Parliament to, share hugs, but not just share hugs and love and whatever. Share experiences. Learn from each other. But we can get through this if we all walk through that door. The PowerShift to freedom. That's your doorway out of here. And we can't do it alone. Whether I'm right or not doesn't matter, because, again, the minute that you support this, it's our collective rights to self-determination. But we need most everybody to participate. Then we can look at, turning taxation into dividends, making everybody prosper, not just here, but in every other country. How many assets do Canadians have in other countries? What can go back to them? We have no business taking other people's assets in their own countries. So, hey. Now, I'm seeing here, people saying, oh, I signed. Yes, but how many other people did you get to sign? That's the question. When people ask us, how many signatures do we have? Not enough to take over this country by the people, which is our right. We're not overthrowing the government. We're just restructuring governance. We're putting what was supposed to be given to us was stolen through coup d'etats of representative democracy. And any kind of representative democracy or, combined democracy, whatever they want, has all been a lie to make us think that we are free and we have the right to decide. There's only one pure direct democracy and policy democracy, and that's the book, The PowerShift to Freedom with Von Lyons. He explains it well. Daniel asked me, Nicole, what happens the next day? Okay. What happens the next day? This is it. Okay. Von Lyons. You can find it online. You can buy his ebook for $6.95 or something like that, or maybe even a little bit more now. But that book, the only thing they were missing was the Convention of Consent and the people to understand their strength as the shareholders, co-owners of the Crown of Canada. We all have a right to this. Okay? And no, Pierrette, independence is not freedom. And England said that in one of their debates to the UN. Independence is not freedom. For England, Canada was supposed to be an independent. We take care of ourselves. They don't have to send us any money. That's what independence means. But they still control us. At least they did. In that sense, it was still under the UK. That's why nobody could immigrate to Canada before 1949 and 51 unless they were British citizens. That's not very long ago, people. Most of you might not even remember this. The indigenous nations came under our laws. They were listed under natural resources and aliens, because they're a separate peoples. They were here first. They have lands here. They have their DNA is in this soil way before we arrived. So there's a lot of things that we need to understand, but do we need to understand them now? No. Do we need to know what Trudeau and Freeland and everybody did and everything? No. I had one of our members today say, "Hey, I'm focusing on chemtrails. How the planes are going back and forth. Where are they going to be at certain times?" Yeah, that he says for after. Yeah, that's good for after. But since you've been doing that, how many names did you get? Is that what is more important? It's not important right now. The data's already there. I went through 420 pages, 2 hours of going down and clicking more, clicking more, clicking more, clicking more, clicking more. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be here till tomorrow. And maybe longer than that, trying to download that library. Is it important right now? No. What's important is to know that they're poisoning us through the air. Bill Gates, sun dimming is what they call it, the balloons. Everything goes white in the sky. And then once the wind starts and everything, then you can see little specks of blue of the real sky behind it. That's what we're breathing in. And then the mRNA. And then we've got, again, the superbug, C. difficile, that they don't want to talk about. When did that start? Composting. Composting. We've done all the research on this, people. Does it really matter right now? Right now, what matters is that we stop them. We stop the reset. We walk, if every Canadian walks through that door to freedom with us under the PowerShift.ca, we get this done, the UK also becomes free. This is why we might look at a battle. In normal circumstances, because not everybody agrees in the UK about what they're doing. Not everybody agrees. Public health doesn't totally agree with the UK government on COVID-19. That's why they were never able to say that SARS-CoV-2 was highly HCID. It's highly not contagious, high consequence infectious disease. Because no matter what anybody else says, we have the proof. We can actually debate this in court. SARS-CoV-2 did not get past the immune system because it's a far variant from SARS of 2003. Okay? Could not get past our immune system. That's why everybody was, then they invented this word asymptomatic, and it spreads so fast that it'll hit you, but you won't even know it's there. It's a ghost. It's a ghost. So now we need everybody to have these injections. Okay? Everybody needs to have these injections. So if you want to be able to go outside, you want to be able to go watch a hockey game, you want to be able to go watch a football game, you need to be vaccinated. We're looking at maybe 2. Oh, now we're looking at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But oh my gosh, it does not infect. It does not affect SARS-CoV-2. Okay? It doesn't help, it might make you have better symptoms, milder symptoms. So if you get the common cold and you have mild symptoms, they'll say, for the ones who got injected, see? So COVID-19, we can prove in court at some point. SARS, COVID-19, I know I'm going to get blocked for this. Is basically a figment of their imagination. Everything under the sun qualifies under that. So they'll say, yeah, but that's, oh, okay. Well, when did you change the definition? And why did you change the definition? So when we're looking at sun dimming, and then we're looking at, and if I say chemtrails, well, then I'm a Looney Tune and I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. Well, I'd rather be wearing a tinfoil hat than be with them. So anyways, let's call it by what it's supposed to be called. Geoengineering. And the actually other word for it is cloud seeding. So everything that comes through the clouds will come into the soil, okay, eventually, and through our lungs and everything else. So if you look at everything that was before 2019, okay, we can relate everything to these things. We had them beforehand. What's the big deal? Okay. But no, the big deal was all of a sudden sun dimming. The U.S. military was doing exercises with that. Then Bill Gates bought it. So, anyways, this is what we're seeing, and this is another reason why they can say it's not just because of the water, and this is why they can say that, oh, there's another wave coming, another wave coming, and they want you to wear the mask. Well, even if you wear the mask, it's not going to stop you from breathing that stuff in, and it's not going to make you better anyways. Okay, so they're trying to get rid of us in every which way possible, to keep us sick, to keep us not concentrating on what what do they don't want you to know. There's an open door, and that's called PowerShift to freedom, the right to collective, not just alone, but the right to collective self-determination. And what did they want to do with that? They want to make sure that you didn't know this, that you didn't focus on this. They wanted everybody to focus on your personal rights. Your personal rights are more important than anything else on this planet. Your personal rights, but not your collective rights. But they use our collective rights against us. Oh, you all need to be forced vaccinated. It's everybody's right. We got to save everybody from, this evil thing that they've created. Anyways, that's my rant for today. But the bottom line is, excuse me, is that everybody needs to get on board. We need to be able to set up. Rhonda's making that email today. She's supposed to be sending it out to some of the groups, and to have everybody support what we're doing here. Okay, that everybody's, even though they're about different things, that's fine. Keep your memberships. We're not after their memberships. We just want them to say that they support the PowerShift, that they've signed their agreements as well. Signing your agreement you're not going to lose your pension. You're not going to lose anything. It just comes into effect once we've all signed. Enough of us have signed. And we need to really show no doubts about what people want. Okay? And if you truly believe in freedom and what freedom is, there's a difference. There's a fine line between freedom and dictatorship. And that fine line is who makes the decisions at the end of the day. We the people or the governments. And then, so Daniel says, what do we do next? Well, it's easy. What do we do when all this happens? I started to talk about a while ago, then I kind of drifted off there. Let's get back to that. What do we do at the end of the day? Like at the beginning of the day there, tomorrow morning, well, the courts are going to say, okay, we need to transition. So we get Jagmeet Singh in there and the NDP, and they can kind of take over. And then we start seeing who we're going to put in jail. Okay. I shouldn't be saying that either. But anyways, the WEF needs to be considered as a espionage team. Insider trading. So Justin Trudeau, Freeland, all of them were looking at insider trading. Installing the IFRS, which is a bogus and unconstitutional thing that they did against our Constitution and without the will of the people being involved. They changed the way taxation is done, where now the way that we report our taxation, well, not we, but corporations. So now a corporation could be worth $3 billion, but they owe $1 billion in debt. So they'll say, oh, our company is worth $4 billion. $4 billion. Come and buy your shares. So all the shareholders run and, oh my God, my shares just went up. My shares went up. And then they fight. Racketeering. Yes, Alan, perfect word. Racketeering. Okay, so, well, that's illegal. Last I looked. So, anyways, when you're looking at everything that the governments have done and what they're playing with, They're guilty of racketeering. They're guilty of espionage, to find out what everybody's doing, what every corporation is doing with through false pretenses, coercion of the corporations to force vaccinate employees. You name it, we can throw the book at them. They'll be in there forever, forever behind bars. Anybody who participated in this and helped them bring this along is just as guilty. Okay? Just as guilty. So if you want anything done in this country and you want your freedom, it needs to be bigger than the convoy. It needs to be louder than the convoy through your rights. The convoy had every right of staying there. They never should have been able to leave. The lawyers were not prepared for anything like this. They didn't care about our international rights and any of the information that we had to share. They just went along with it. But hey, together, we can protect our rights. No politician will do that for you. None. We need to destroy the political party system in the sense that it is valueless. It is a coup d'etat, okay, for your rights. Because the minute I've had people with us for 4 years sign their convention of consent and then ask me, Nicole, who should I vote for? Okay, like, hello. I haven't voted since 2008. Sometimes I actually said 2014 one time. No, 2008 was actually October 14th, 2008 was the last date I voted. And I started doing this because I sent registered letters to all of the ministers, the premiers, everybody across Canada in Parliament. But registered letters to Stephen Harper at the time, the October 14th, 2008, saying that we, the people, needed to take our power back out of their hands. And to this day, 13 years later, I'm still back to square one, but with a solution. And that solution is the people. You are the solution. Don't wait for God. Don't wait for Creator. Don't wait for Allah. Don't wait for nobody. Because they work through you. And if you're sitting there on your laurels waiting for something to happen, you didn't listen. You didn't listen here. You didn't listen there. Because it's up to you to move those boots on the ground. You represent Creator. You represent whoever you believe in to do the job. Otherwise, why create you in the first place? Seriously. You think we're that special to be created so that we can have some spirit take care of us and give us a good life? And well, where's that Creator since World War I and all of the atrocities and all the decapitations in Africa and everywhere? Where? It's been sitting in couches watching TV, going fishing, going everywhere. That's you and me, baby. That's you and me. So I hope you understand that. That's you and me. So let's get those boots on the ground and make whoever you believe in proud of you, because you're doing your job. Make sure everybody else is doing their job too. And please don't harass the lawyers, because you might end up getting them fired, or they'll leave us before they get fired. So I cannot say who this lawyer is. You'll find out when he makes his move. Okay. In the meantime, there'll be he's not starting till later on, but there's going to be things going on in the scenes. And we also need to be able to hire a PR group in the UK. So we're going to be doing that. Now I have to look for PR representatives, and then we have other groups that so most of our work has to be done at the UK level. So I want you to make sure that you understand that 3 a.m. comes early, because that's when things start on the other side, okay? So we're not going to be here that much in the evenings to entertain you with news or events or whatever. We're going to try to do it as much as we can, but we need to, this is a strategy, people. Things take time, things need to be done, and we need to make sure we do not make a mistake along the way. Okay? Because if we rush and we run with this with our heads cut off, we're going to lose. We're going to lose. So we need to be smart. And that's the point. You never give up. As long as there's a solution out there, you cannot give up. And that door is wide open to the PowerShift.ca. I can't stress that enough. So we used to have the $10 a month fee, and we decided to take it off because it was giving us more heartache than anything, and it was costing us money to do that because we incur fees all the time. Somebody joins and then wants to cancel their $10 a month payment. Well, when we sign up to other, we've got programs that we have to pay. And if we decide to, I'll give you pictures, for example. We pay for all our pictures. I pay $39 US a month for 10 photos. If I can't cancel that until the whole year has been done. I signed up for 12 months. I have to pay for 12 months. No ifs and buts about it. So we decided to, because we need people to sign up. We know a lot of people can't afford to pay $120, but we need to be able to keep working, to keep doing these things, because we're not getting that much support from, other than our regular people who have been donating. We've gotten a really nice donation the other day that I went picked up in Montreal. Thank you, Danielle. And you see, so, and then we have another from Saskatchewan that helped us acquire well, we already had our lawyer signed up, but it helped us put some monies towards more things that he can do for us. And that's how it works. Now we have to send the UK lawyer, and the UK lawyer, it's EU funds. We also have to pay a tax called the VAT. So we're looking at, let's say we're looking at $5,000 Canadian. That will turn into roughly $6,658 plus the VAT. So we're looking really at over $7,000, or let's say $2,500 more to be safe. So every $5,000 we need to pay out an extra $2,500 for just no reason at all in that sense. But it's something that we have no choice. We have to go ahead with. So now we have to get everybody ready. We need to be able to, yeah, Pam says, yeah, 8K almost pretty much. So for all the incidentals. So we need to be able to raise a lot of cash for these lawyers and for a PR group, because the PR group, what we're doing is we're going to be filing in the gazettes, we're going to be filing in the newspapers, we're going to be filing everywhere. We're going to let the word out. Okay. So we're going full on PR. So we need your help. Okay, you can either join the C.P.U. We were advising people, if you want to give a donation, with a donation you get our ebook, and it explains a bit of what we're doing in there. And then you can join as a member. But if you want to be able to donate at least $120, then you might as well just get a membership. That helps as well. So every membership helps, because we need to prove that so many Canadians want to. We've got so many signatures, but again, we need to have at least 200 to 300,000 people signed up to the C.P.U. some way or somehow. And and the PowerShift. So maybe we can combine those. I don't know. But anyways, they are combined anyway. So right now we're not all that much where we'll impress the UK. The UK might still give us a little bit of our time, but legally, the law is the law, and that's what we're going to be promoting: is the law is the law. Okay. So, anyways, again, it's all strategy, it's all moves. Don't freak out if we're not here so much to give you updates, but everything has to be meticulously done. This is not to be done half-assed and the wrong way. Okay? Everything has to be checked out every which way, just to make sure that we don't lose. So there's a lot involved. And like I said, I couldn't be happier. We're completely securing our UK lawyer. And I've got all the faith in him And this is what we, so far, but we're still going to watch. We still, I trust nothing until the end. But anyways, I think he liked this idea because it opens doors up for them in the UK as well. Okay. And he was, I can't tell you any more about him. You'll find out who he is. Anyways, so, anyways, please have respect for us and our lawyers. You know, we've got this under control. People don't freak out. What we don't have under control are the Canadian citizens, and we're leaving that up to you. Okay, up to you. So happy Easter, everyone. Happy holidays for whoever is celebrating or not. Have a great weekend. And, yes, the law is the law, and we're going to make them stand by it until they eat crow. Okay? The law is the law. So the UK is where we're going to be making most of all of these efforts because the UK is the only one that can change that constitution right now. Okay? The governments won't do it, the politicians won't do it. New people we're voting in won't be able to do it because there's restrictions on what they can do. Not worth, um, you know, provincial politics right now mean nothing to me. Zero. What matters is federal. That's the danger. Okay. And municipal as well, because now municipal is trying to interfere in our constitution so that the mayors could have as much power as the premiers and the prime minister in uh, locking us down in our cities, because that's what's coming next. So we either stop them from the UK. We have no competition there. Anybody who wants to persist in the other mandates, medical mandates, public health, and all that, you're fighting all of the planet. We're not fighting the planet here. That door is open between us and the UK, and the law is the law. Has nothing to do with public health. Okay? That's the open door. So, good night, and we'll be back in French after supper. And how can I say? I need to do a really good one in French because we haven't updated them for a while. But please, stay confident. I know I am. So, and once you see what actually happens, but we need you to start organizing. We've got a month and a half, okay, tops, not even, to get organized, to have hundreds of thousands of people signed up to the C.P.U. and the PowerShift, and to have signature more than those, at least a couple of million minimum of signed signatures. We're not even close to that. So you have your job cut out for you. We need to really come out strong, and hopefully, my hope is that by July 1st, we will be able to see some amazing things happening and really be at Parliament Hill as the owners, shareholders of the Crown Corporation of Canada. And it's doable. It all depends how fast you are, how much help we get, and how many people we can hire in PR work and everything else. Okay? So thank you. Have a good evening. Have a happy holiday. And yeah, goosebumps for sure, Pam. Absolutely. I was supposed to come yesterday, like yesterday. I knew yesterday morning about our lawyer, but I just flattened. Okay, because that was the most important thing. We didn't know who to choose. How are we going to get fooled or used or whatnot? And no, this is the guy I wanted, and I'm very proud of what we've done, and everybody, and the patients, and the people who have helped us so far, everybody who's donated, who kept us going. Like I told Daniel, we're probably the smallest group in Canada, but we're the ones with the solution. There's only one, and it's the legal way. No need for civil wars, no need for any of that. The law is the law. We just need to make sure that it remains that way. Okay. So good night, and we'll talk to you soon. Please spread this. Bye bye. Okay, how do I get out of here?